All right, so week two, the top storyline seems to be injuries. We got a lot of guys tearing their ACL for some reason. It makes no sense.
I think the entire San Francisco team
Yeah,
like broke in half,
yeah,
right?
I know. I mean, they lost Bosa and Solomon Thomas on the defense. Both had ACL injuries, I think. Both are out for the year.
And then Jimmy G and Mostard went down
Yeah,
too, right?
them two went down too, but them two aren't out for the year. They're just, I don't know, they're out for a few weeks. Kyle Shanahan actually complained about the field there, but they said I heard someone went and checked and said it was all in compliance, so he really didn't have anything to complain about. He was just
They greased it up before the they're trying so desperate to get a win. They're like, let's fucking put some grease out here, see what happens.
well, they actually have to go back now and play the Giants there. So I'm sure he's not too happy about that one.
Oh, they got to go back to MetLife and play the
Yep.
Giants. Oh, dude, they're gonna go out there and play in hiking boots. Dude. They're not taking any risks. Everyone's gonna come out in bubble wrap and just be like, "Fuck."
Yeah, that's probably their best idea. They should probably go for that. Speaking of the Giants, Saquon got hurt too. That's a big blow. That's probably the biggest one.
Yeah, he's like their entire offense. They're gonna struggle without him. I mean, their offensive line was like already really bad, and if Saquon can't make it work with that offensive line, then I don't know who
Yeah,
can.
Daniel Jones.
So,
It's gonna
I,
be rough.
yeah, I think that's going to be a huge blow for the Giants. I mean, huge blow for him too, because in his third year, nobody wants to see a star back just go down like that, especially an ACL. Um, it's funny because I feel like now, like after Adrian Peterson came back from his ACL and like tore up the league, I feel like that's almost for a lot of people now. They're like, well, with the advancements in medical, blah blah blah. Like ACLs are just a ankle sprain nowadays. Like, I call horseshit on that, dude.
Oh,
Like
100%.
not only like from a recovery standpoint. I mean, because even like for instance, A Rob, he came back from his ACL too, but like I'm sure there is more advancements and like they do recover better, they're stronger and all that, but I think the mental game of like think about after you tear your ACL and for a running back that's like everything to you, and then like you got to go and cut and weave again. Like there's no way you're like, I think the mental part of that is always overlooked of like, because I've sprained my ankles a bunch of times, and I know when I go and play basketball again, I'm not going for a rebound. I don't care anymore. Like you know what I mean, I'm not even taking that risk. Obviously, like he's a competitive athlete, he's going to go out and take that risk, but I think that mental, everyone talks about the medical advancements about coming back from injuries, but I think that mental game is overlooked.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, like you said in basketball, you're coming down from a rebound, you just step on another guy's ankle and there you go, spraining it again. For him, I'm sure like a lot of people are going to say, oh, he's going to have linemen diving at his knees and whatnot. He's going to be scared of that. But I think just running and making cuts, like you said, that's probably going to scare him a lot too. Like you can't put weight on that like you used to, or at least not until you get comfortable with it. You're going to be scared until you make some serious cuts and get comfortable with it. I don't think recovery is just as simple as being like, oh yeah, we've advanced so far technologically that it's no big deal. I'm sure that's what they tell him just to make him feel better, but at the end of the day, he's still got to get comfortable running again.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I can only imagine being an athletic trainer or a doctor in a team. Like, imagine telling Saquon his season is done because he tore his ACL. I feel like as a trainer, like in professional sports, you really have to have like a lot of guts because it's like you're gonna have to sit and tell the honest truth to this player, like, dude, you're done, and you have to sit and watch them go through their pain physically and mentally. Think about like just you know playing the sport you love every single day for your life, and then it's just taken away from you. But yeah, I think that stuff just kind of across the NFL. The week one, I was thinking like, do we really need preseason? Because players got hurt, but not really. Like nothing like out of the ordinary that you would expect of not getting your body warmed up to hits. But this second week, everyone just crumbled. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think the lack of preseason or the shortened, I guess, off-season training is what did it, or do you think it's just bad luck? I mean, plus they didn't really do any organized training either. I'm sure these guys are wealthy enough that they can get their own trainers, but a lot of these were like non-contact injuries too. You wonder if that's kind of due to the COVID, the lack of actual training, or
I don't know. I think that, for instance, if this happened last year, I don't think anybody would think. I mean, people would still have the same reaction. I just think just because of what happened with the pandemic and nobody being able to actually practice and hit, it kind of heightens like, oh, is this why? I don't know. There's not enough evidence obviously now to know that's why. To be honest though, like the way the NFL games have been playing out, I feel like we don't need preseason anymore. For instance, Joe Burrow coming in and not missing a beat almost. I felt like he didn't need a preseason to get like that welcome to the NFL moment. I'm looking at, like, as a Jags fan, James Robinson, undrafted free agent running back, no preseason, coming in and being a starter and just excelling in it. It's interesting. Part of me, maybe it's because like the preseason gives other teams some film, and so when it comes to the season, they have a better idea of what, for instance, if Joe Burrow has reps as a starter, with, with 3-4 games of preseason, you could like get an idea of his tendencies versus no preseason. Now you don't have any tendencies. So the first 4 games of the regular season, when you start to see some, I don't know, but I feel like preseason, because it's always been a debate, should we have preseason or not, versus like because of injuries and just getting teams and reps and all that. I kind of feel like you don't need it.
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of undrafted free agents and late round picks that would disagree with you. I know you mentioned Robinson. He kind of came out hot. Burrow was a first overall pick. I guess if he does good in his first few games, you're just kind of like, yeah, this guy's NFL ready. Like, this is what you expect. That's why he was drafted so high. But yeah, I mean, if you saw like Stephon Diggs just cook the Miami rookie, you'd be like, yeah, this guy probably could have used a preseason to get ready for the talent that the NFL is going to have. Even Jeff Okudah, who got burned by Aaron Rodgers yesterday. Like,
I mean, I get that, and it's like rookies need more time. But at the end of the day, it's like, even if that guy has 4 games of preseason, how much more ready is he to face a Stephon Diggs, a top wide receiver, or Jeff Okudah? How much more ready is 3 games of preseason playing vanilla, offenses and coverages going to help him to play Aaron Rodgers? Now, I guess you could say adjusting to the game speed, but I feel like most NFL athletes will say preseason is nothing like regular season.
Maybe. I mean, that is an extra month though of exposure. I guess maybe not preseason. Maybe if you cut preseason down, but I think that training camp time and just like you said, adjusting to the speed of the NFL compared to college. I think that definitely they would need that exposure.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see training camp. That definitely plays a big role. But I think if you cut down preseason to say like 2 games, I don't think that it's going to have that much of a difference. I think you should. I think at this point, most NFL teams and stuff like that really don't care about that many preseason games. They rather get the regular season started. But who knows? Let's see if they change it. They probably won't.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely 2 games sounds like a good idea because you could have kind of a first game being dress rehearsal and the second game being that would be final auditions, I guess. I do feel, back to the injuries, I do feel bad for another guy that's out for the year, and that's Malik Hooker. I mean, in his rookie year, he played less than half a year. I think he tore his ACL in the Jags game. And the next 2 years, I don't think he played full seasons. And then the Colts decided not to pick up his 5th-year option. So during his contract year this year, second game in, guy tears his Achilles, and he's just done for the year. Kind of feel bad because he was a pretty promising defensive back coming out of college, and now he might not even have a future in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate part about a lot of athletes, and I think that's why they always say like the average NFL career span is 3 years or 4 years. That stuff happens a lot. I mean, it's inevitable to get injuries, and when you have freak injuries like that, ACL tears, and those big injuries, they always seem to linger. Like he tore his Achilles. It's like maybe because he never came back fully from his ACL recovery. Those muscle imbalances and all that play a role. So it sucks for an NFL prospect to go through that, to work your whole life to make it to the NFL, just for it to be cut short because your body gave out on you at a young age.
Yeah, it does. It's really bad. Another couple of injuries. I guess Cortland Sutton is out for the year, but Drew Lock is out for a few weeks, and
not with the boat coming in, dude.
The boat is making his return. What do you think?
Honestly, the way I look at it, there's one guy taking over the AFC West, and it's not Patrick Mahomes. The boat's coming in. He's coming in with a V8 engine, and he's probably gonna truck the French guy on the Chiefs the next time they play. The guy with the croissant in his back pocket. He's gonna go sideline to sideline, stiff arm that guy. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm in for the boat, taking these guys to the ship.
He he'll probably just be relegated to clipboard Jesus.
Hey, get his brains over there. There's no telling where you go.
Oh yeah.
He'll probably actually call timeouts with the last 2 minutes left in the game, unlike their head coach.
Another quarterback though in AFC West making his debut, Justin Herbert looked really good in replacement of Tyrod Taylor. Now Tyrod Taylor is week to week coming back with chest injuries, but did you get to catch that Chargers game? Did you see or anything that impressed you from Herbert?
Honestly, for being thrown in, and I think he said he was like told that he was the starter like right before kickoff or whatever. For being thrown in there against the Chiefs, Chiefs don't have the best defense, but just the intimidation of you're playing former Super Bowl champs, you got to step your shit up, you know. I thought he played well, especially considering the expectations I had for him going in. I didn't think he was going to be all that good, especially not as a rookie. I thought he had a lot more to develop, but honestly, I thought he played pretty well. Like, I think he should be the starter going forward. I think after that game, even though you wanted Tyrod in there to kind of, string him along, and then, once Tyrod starts to fizzle out, you put in Herbert for that, juice or whatever. I feel like Herbert should be the starter going forward just based off that game, because now it's almost like if you put Tyrod Taylor back, the first day completion he throws, they're going to be calling for Herbert anyway. So
Yeah, but I mean, you could say the same thing about Daniel Jones' situation. He kind of came in because, just as surprised as he was to be starting a game, the Kansas City Chiefs were surprised that they're not going to play Tyrod. Now they're going to play this guy. So I think he kind of had, I don't want to say an edge, but it almost is like an edge that the Kansas City Chiefs were playing someone that they weren't preparing for.
yeah, I think that's always like the element of surprise when you don't have film on a guy and you'll prepare for Tyrod Taylor, who scrambles a lot, this and that. This is how he plays. This is how we're going to set up our defense. And then all of a sudden Herbert comes in and, you have no idea what to expect. So you kind of have to play like almost a shell sometimes, because you're like, we don't really know what he likes to do. And throughout the game, you have to adjust to what he likes to do. So that definitely played, and I think that definitely played a role in his success. But also, I just feel like, I can only imagine being a rookie. I'm already shitting my pants, let alone, 5 minutes before kickoff. Hey, dude, you're taking the reins. Like, obviously prepare every day to be the starter, but I always think that's kind of just like what you say, right? Like, everyone says that.
It's hard to prepare every day to be the starter when you got to play against, second team defenses and stuff, or you're playing with the second team.
Yeah, so I mean, as much as it was an advantage for Herbert to, play against a team that wasn't prepared for him, he also wasn't prepared for that team fully. So